Hey, Trenton. Chris Cartman, Son of a Source. How does this feel, not just to have a good offensive performance, but after all you guys have kind of been through and guys continuing to battle and seeing that pay off?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, just giving thanks to God, just keeping our brothers here healthy. We've had a lot of people, with the minor setbacks, but just sticking together. I think that's the one thing that we kind of came into this year. There's a lot of new guys, there's a lot of new coaches in the building, but just sticking together. It hasn't been easy. These last 3 weeks, really this whole season, we're right there. And finally, to play a game, all three phases. Yes, there were mistakes that we can improve on, but to see special teams, have that big field goal at the end of the first half. Offense able to, drive down, get us into field goal position, then, defense at the end of the game to stop them in the red zone inside the 5, I believe. I mean, it's just awesome to see everything work together, and, it's the start of something special.
And then what's this been like? Kenny's kind of evolved the offense in recent weeks, getting into some of these cut splits, and you're under center, and you're getting more numbers to run behind in some of these looks and the exit motion stuff. What's that been like over the last several weeks building to this?
It's been exciting, being a quarterback that, is pretty much like another coach on the field, to have so many offensive masterminds, with Coach Dilly and Coach Baldwin and Iguano and Coach Mon. I mean, everybody on the offensive side, they put their 2 cents in, and to see them, all work together and, find different ways to get the ball in the playmaker's hands, it makes it easy for me. I'm not having to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, but I can throw a bubble to Badge, and he makes a guy miss, turns it up for 25. Jalen, having running backs that can catch out of the backfield is huge too. But, it all starts with the guys up front, and they did a great job of allowing us to have some explosives in the run game, and it makes everything easier.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Trey, can you talk about the defensive stand there? They get down, and it's a 2-score game and 4 minutes left, and just making that stop.
We had to come out and do our 111th. Obviously, we were up 2 scores, so we were trying not to let them score at all. That's the goal, and we executed. We executed on our plays. We had good communication, which was one of the big keys to. Which was one of the big keys to the stop. So, man, our D-line was eating tonight. I got to give it to them. Our D-line was eating tonight, and it helped us on the back end too. So.
Trey, Jonah Krell, Cronkite Sports. After the win, saw you sort of just take a moment for yourself, go on a knee, look up to the sky. What were the emotions like for you against your former team and to be able to get that win?
Oh, man, it's crazy because I prayed during the week and prayed throughout the week. And I had a lot of prayers going into this week, so I got to give glory to God. That's all I was doing. I was looking up to God, and I'm just saying, thank you, Father, for answering my prayers. Obviously, coming from that school, I had a lot of revenge that I wanted to get, but I learned that revenge is not mine to take but his. So I let that go to him. I gave him everything that there was to be mad or pissed about, and we came out with this victory today, man. So it meant a lot.
Trent, Michael Cartino, Pitchfork Lunch. To have that 1-2 punch, I know Coach Dillingham was trying to talk about all year running the ball, but to finally have DeCarlos back healthy and Cam, obviously gives the offense a boost, but just how much confidence does it give you guys, in play calling, just running the whole offense?
Yeah, I'm looking at the play sheet this morning, and I'm like, okay, this can be an explosive. This can be looking good. This can be good. And, coming back to the sideline and just telling Coach Dillingham, everything they're calling is working. Line is getting a good push up front. Receivers are making plays. Troy had that big third down that first drive. But, just like I said, trusting the game plan. And we have so many weapons, and we still have so much more to put out there. But this is just one step forward. And, we don't want to get too high on it right now. But, watch film and get ready for next week.
BJ, right here. That was a weird sequence where Prince knocked the ball down, their quarterback picked it up and ran after the play should have been dead, and the refs called a penalty on that. And then you and Prince each made plays subsequently to get a stop after that. Can you just talk about that sequence that happened?
I think that we were just really just unwavering in what we were trying to do, what our assignment was. I'll give credit to Trey just keeping us focused on what we need to get done. Regardless of what happens, they might get a big play, but we got to get back and play down and play again. That's one thing that just kept us focused throughout the game is just we still got to get back there. The more we affect the quarterback, the better things that happen. So all credit to everybody behind us because they get us lined up. All we got to do is go. So that's all we did, go.
And can you just talk about the impact that you guys had getting after Caleb? Getting after the quarterback Cam.
It had a huge impact. You don't give him time to sit back there and find what he wants to find. We put pressure on him. good things will always happen. Regardless of where he goes, he tries to run out of there. We know our linebackers will come pick it up and make that play. D-line, we cover for each other. I know y'all saw that first sack. When I went high, he tried to escape to the B gap. We had Clayton right there. We always cover each other. That's that defense. We always keep the cub. We always do our job. So that showed up tonight. We all did everything. It all came together.
This could go for Trey or BJ. Just what was the message in the locker room that kind of, changed that mentality going into the second half to really shut down Cam?
It was really the finish. We always put together a first half, and this game was one of the biggest games where we wanted to put together a whole game. So we went in, told them guys we need to finish and make sure we're just doing our 111th. One play mentality, making sure that we're executing on every single play, and then after that, man, the score shows. So just executing every play and finish.
The standard's the standard, honestly. Nothing changes. Every week, every game, every half that we play, the standard is always to finish, to do our job. Everybody does their job, and every good things will always happen when everybody is simultaneously doing their job. Coach Ward always tells us do our 111s, what I'll say to that is he just told us what the standard was, and we have to meet that every week. He challenges us to do that every week. So.
Trenton, it feels like you guys are running the ball better than you have all year today. What was kind of the key to that success for the first time?
Yeah, I think the coaches did a great job of coming up with a game plan, and the players did a good job of executing it. We kind of knew coming in what was going to happen, and to see gashes of 8 to 10 to 15 yards, and Scat breaks that one, I think it was like 70 yards or something. But to see those plays finally pop up, that's kind of what this offense has needed the last couple of weeks. Is it's kind of been a grind, getting these drives where it's 10 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards. You see all these other scores where people can break an outside zone for 80, but for us to finally get some of those explosives, it opens up everything in the game plan, and it allows us to put up some big points, and the defense did a great job too.
And then Trey, you guys had a weird play in the first half where a bunch of defensive players came out and lined up on offense. Clayton Smith threw the pass interference. What was that going on out there, and what did Kenny tell you about that play?
All I can say is that play was meant to, what would you say, send a message?
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah.
they earned it. They earned it last week. They kind of came up with a little goal, and I think since they had so many turnovers, we drew up a defensive play, and they did a good job stopping it. But if it was what we wanted to, is we want to get Trey in the end zone, but you'll never know. So defenses in the future, we've got to do a good job of watching film. But that's the type of offense that Coach Dillingham does. He likes to have a lot of tricks and razzle dazzles, and you just got to prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
Trent, have you had any conversations with Brian Ward specifically about that Washington State defense in this coming week?
Not really. I know, it's been nice to be able to go against our defense, which is, pretty much their kind of style. But to go against our defense, they're a little bit more exotic. But to be able to go against these guys, it makes our offense, better each and every week. But I knew that, this game was, personal for a couple guys coming from that school. But for us, it's just another game. We don't want to make it too big. But I'm just super excited that the team and the coaching staff to, finally earn it. And it's a great feeling.
Trent, a lot of the messaging at this week was the offense was one play away. Little details mattered. The bus last week. So, do you think you really capitalized and made sure to be successful on those small details? How do you think you were on that department?
Yeah, I think that was one of the big things that we kind of emphasized on this week, not just, on the field, but off the field as well. Defense has done a great job in the past of, making sure they're executing those small details. And offensively, we're a player here or there that, that flips this whole season around. So for us, it was just, making sure we fix our mistakes. And like I said, it definitely showed up tonight. There was definitely a couple, mistakes we missed here or there, but definitely improved, and just can't wait for the rest of the year.
Hey, Trenton, Jake Seymour, Sun Devil Source. Kenny kind of challenged the offensive leadership this week, talked about the buses on Monday. Do you feel like there was a change in that, and how do you feel like if there was a change, maybe that helped the offense put together their best performance this season? Yeah,
I think, like I said, the small details, making sure after each touchdown, not just, dapping up the offense, but going down to the defensive guys, making sure, this is where, they're bending. Let's finish them off here. And same thing, defense is cheering on the offense. And, obviously, I think we were all loudest when the special teams were out there, because we just know it takes a full team to win, and to have all three phases, finally come together and played one game, a full game, it shows, what we can do, and it's pretty exciting.
Was there anyone or anything that kind of stood out to you during the week with the offensive leadership?
Yeah, I think offensively we just knew that, last week it stung, for the defense to play such a great game, and we weren't able to execute on our side. But, I think we did a great job all week, whether it was cleaning the locker room, picking up trash in the film room, making sure people are on time to all the meetings. And, it all starts with the little things, and that's really what makes great teams great.
Doug Franz Unplugged. Any of the three of you, I don't know if this is like dunking on somebody in basketball, but what are your emotions when you're watching Scadaboo and Badger drag 5, 6, 7 guys along for an extra 7 or 8 yards?
I'll say for defense to watch that or to practice against at least EK Badger, with him juking, it's nice that we go against it in practice so we can practice against it. With guys like Scat, it's also good to go against because you're getting the physical aspect of the offense and getting to see that in practice. So it's great to see them out there, and then they're just doing their thing, man. And Coach Dillingham sets up plays to get those guys the balls in their hand, and they make magic happen, as you can see. So it's good as a defense that we're seeing them. And not only that, they're just out there making plays, but they're out there having fun. So it's good to see that too.